What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So glad to have you guys here. We are now, I'm a Bama fan all the time. Hey, so glad to have you guys here on a wonderful 2021. Throw 2020 away. It wasn't worth having. Hope you kept your receipt. Get your money back because good night. We don't want to do that again. All right, what's going on, everybody? Let's check out the chat this morning. Let's see what we got in here. Devin Rushing, first in the stream. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Michael Porter, one of our resident members, has one of the most important of the day, messages of the day, which is thumbs up, everybody. I like it. Between the Trenches, one of my personal favorites. Welcome back to the show, sir. Big Dog Bread is in the stream. Thank you, sir. Also, Ballard Sports Media. And we've got a few other people in here. Jordan Bowman, how's it going, buddy? Game day. What's up? Have you ever seen a day with more interesting games than today played in one day? I don't think so. I don't think it's happened. So I'm not buying. Today's going to be a great day. Starting off at noon, we're going to be playing the Dogs. It's going to be playing Cincinnati. We'll get into that here in just a little bit. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share, send it to your friends, send it to your mom and them. Tell her to wake up, it's game day. All right, guys. So let's see here. Let me get rid of this music in the background. This is killing me. All right, let's see here. What do I do? What do I do? Who am I? What are we? What are we doing? Let's just close that out entirely. How about that? Now to get rid of it. Yeah. Okay, so normally I give everybody a few more minutes to jump on. We're gonna do the same thing here. I know it's kind of early for some people. Some people stayed up partying a little too late last night. I was not one of them. We have a newborn in the house, a 3-year-old, and some teenage kids. So we popped the sparkling grape juice at about 5 minutes to midnight, rung in the new year, and then promptly went to sleep. So yeah. Hats off to Mr. RN. He was vigorously in the comment section defending his Gators. Hats off to you, sir. I would have been doing the same thing. We got to toss it around a little bit of trash talk, and he is still here with us. So hats off, much respect to you, sir. You guys had a great team this year. Just come up a little bit short there at the end. Yes, Devin Cook, I did hear that James Cook dad passed away. Prayers to him and his family. Condolences. I know that's got to be tough. What's going on, Keith Carr? How's it going, everybody, as well? Sparkling grape hits different. I can't even lie. You know, we did have me and the wife had some champagne. We both took about 3 sips and we're like, I'd rather have the grape juice. Also, just so you know, you guys know, really need to start making more of a concerted effort to kind of push the Twitter. It's an easy way for me to get information out to you guys. I need to change the banner here so we can see it. My support staff is taking the day off. This is incorrect. This is incorrect. See, this is what happens whenever you don't have proper staffing. I'm gonna have to get after me about it later. But if you look at the bottom of the screen here, you'll see where it says at UGA Big Dog Brett. Go ahead and follow me over on Twitter. Keith Carr is there as well. We've got several other people that are really starting to join the Twitter space, and it's a really easy way for me to push out information. For the person earlier, I believe it was Devin, asked if I heard that James Cook's father had passed away. Yes, sir. I found out about that about 30 minutes after it happened, once the news was let out, and I try to relay that over to you guys so you kind of have an ear to the rail as it is, so you guys know what's going on. Georgia, be ready for some tomfoolery, some hijinks, some razzle-dazzle from Cincinnati. UGA has talent advantage, rough. Michael Porter says, hey, Keith. Herbert Bradford. Georgia will snatch 3 interceptions from Cincinnati. I don't know since Eric Stokes took a break. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the link down in the stream. You guys feel free to join the show. We want to get into today's games. There's several great games that are going to be played today. Georgia's going to be one of them. Obviously, Clemson versus Ohio State. Everybody wants to watch that game. And, of course, the smackdown that is going to happen between Alabama and Notre Dame. I think this was done on purpose. I think the College Football Playoff Committee wants to see Notre Dame get slapped around. That way, in the upcoming years, whenever they don't put them in the college football playoff, we can say, hey, look, you're not a division champ. You're not in a division, and you got absolutely mollywopped when you played Bama. So, yeah, you don't belong there, sir. You don't belong here. Also, I've done a little bit of transitioning here. I know you guys probably can't see it, but in the background here, I've modified the light. So I'm going to cut this off. Well, that didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. So hold on. Cut that back on. Anyway, we modified this light so it changes colors and everything, and I'm kind of excited. I think it's cool. So we're going to go from there. All right, let's see. John Moriarty says, dogs need to make an emphatic statement in this contest to not only reassert the dominance of the dog program, but also establish a clear and compelling separation factor between. I think that's a reasonable statement. I think absolutely Georgia should do that. But I'm currently waiting for one or two individuals to jump on. We're going to go. I want to go through what betnow.eu has up for betting sports lines, get some score predictions from everybody, see what their thoughts are, and we'll go from there. What's going on, Bruce? Man, hadn't seen you in a hot minute. Where you been, man? I see that you don't have Wayne up there anymore, so I guess that got fixed. But welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, Bruce has been around the channel for a very long time. I like Bruce a lot. Great guy. He actually made this sign right here behind me. That one. He gave that to me. Golly, I bet you it was almost, I don't know, maybe even a year ago. It's been a while. But that's one of my favorite pieces on my wall. Bruce made that by hand. So hats off to him. It's what do they call it? Raised, where he's took and pitted out all of it. So the letters and everything are actually raised. The rest is recessed. There's the word I was looking for. So yeah. Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it, sir. And also thank you for the congrats on the new baby. All right, guys. So yeah, Smith for Heisman. Okay, what do you guys want to talk about first? Do you guys want to talk about Georgia? Do you want to talk about Clemson, Ohio State? Do you guys want to talk about Alabama, Notre Dame? What do you guys want to talk about first? Michael Porter says, even though a couple of players are not playing today, we still have to go out and play well. Absolutely, sir. The line on that game has moved up even further, just so you guys know. What's going on, Travis Goff? Thanks for being here, sir. Really appreciate you. Started to get a few more people in the channel, which is great. We always like having you guys here. The coffee is extra strong this morning, so if you want to know why I'm talking like the squirrel from Hoodwinked Dynamite, it's this. Not just rocks. How's it going, brother? Glad to see you in here, sir. So, I gotta razz one of my guys here. So, for those of you, somebody who said something here. As you guys know, I'm always reading the comments that you guys send. Something I take very personal. I always try to respond to everybody. Even if I don't like the comments, a lot of times I will get into it. Oh, looks like Trenches decided to join the show, so let's go ahead and bring him in as soon as he gets set up here. I'm waiting for him to quite get set. Clemson versus Bama in the national championship game. That is possible. Oh, well, we lost Wes, but it looks like we gained Keith. Here's Keith, one of our favorite contributors to the channel. Is that what they call him these days? A contributor?
Sure.
So we're gonna stay one of the resident experts here. Trenches got himself a cell phone holder because we picked on him so much about it.
And I'm not even using it right now.
And he's not even using it.
I'm watching the kiddos, so it's kind of difficult to run in and go grab some cell phone holder.
So real quick, me and Trenches talk offline quite a bit. If you guys, if you give him a second here, let's get set up. He actually redone his man cave. He got a new flag for Christmas, and check out this sexy jersey. Stand up and show off your man thing. Come on.
I've had that one since the beginning of the year, man.
Yeah, man.
You gotta have the new one.
Man, that's a good looking jersey, dude.
Appreciate you.
So get your pen out. Here's my address.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So thank you guys so much for jumping in this morning. I know it was kind of unplanned and impromptu, but yesterday I was going to do a live show. Trenches messaged me, I guess, around 6 o'clock. Hey, are you doing a show? And I was actually in the process of replacing our front door. I got a front door that looks really cool, and the old door we had kind of looked like the one off of a rental property, and I didn't like it. So I decided to change it out. And that project took me about 5 hours longer than the 1 hour project it should have been. And of course, it's still not done. So, but the door's in. So couldn't go to bed until that was done. But after that, it was starting to get late. I didn't want to jump on a show at like 10 o'clock. So we just kind of chilled out and enjoyed the rest of the night together. So there's a little guy. Check him out. That's what it's all about right there.
You muted, Trenches.
Sorry about that. Yeah, she's all ready for the game, ready to go.
There you go. That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, buddy.
So Jesse Stacy says, what up, big dog? Hopefully to score against Cincinnati. And he said, hit that thumbs up. I like it when you guys put that in the channel. It makes me appreciate you guys all the more, knowing that you guys appreciate me. So, all right, so let's jump right into it. Well, first let's back up. Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, because we haven't had a chance to talk about this. Let's go ahead and get it out of the way for all of the Gator fans and all of the Oklahoma fans. What was you guys' opinion of that game? I don't know if either one of you saw my preview for what I said about that game, but what did you guys think?
I think this game, Florida got embarrassed, first of all. But, unfortunately for Florida and for Oklahoma, with all the opt-outs and stuff like that, Oklahoma's not going to get the credit they deserve for the win. And, and everybody, all Florida fans are going to try to give Florida the benefit of the doubt, So it's unfortunate, man. We gotta get away from that. We gotta figure out a way to stop these people from opting out. I was really upset that Kyle Pitts that they put on the bowl game and let him talk and put his face on the bowl game while he opted out. It's like, what? Well, why do that? Why give these guys? I think I tweeted about that. Like, why give these guys airtime? You opted out of the game, but they're going to put their face up there and let them talk to the team, tell the team good luck. It's like, man, come on, dude. Don't promote these kids that opted out.
So
yeah, I think it was ugly.
Yeah.
I think we just got to preview it next year for Florida. You could say what you want about the opt-outs, but I remember when Georgia lost to Texas and we had a ton of opt-outs. My biggest worry was, man, this is going to be us next year.
Yeah.
Keith had a great idea, so I'm going to do what I do. I don't ever come up with good ideas of my own. I just steal other good ones. So I'm changing my username. So here's my opinion. First and foremost, hats off to Oklahoma. They came out, they handled business, they played absolutely lights out. And I'm going to be honest with you, that is probably the best I have seen Oklahoma play all season.
Yeah.
They came out with a chip on their shoulder. They came out absolutely ticked off. They wanted revenge, and they went out there and they got it.
Yeah.
They weren't accepting any excuses. They weren't looking for any reason to take their foot off the throttle. They just went into beatdown mode, and Florida refused to do anything about it. Kyle Trask come out there and look sloppy. Kyle Trask come out there and threw 3 interceptions in the first quarter, or almost in the first quarter. I looked up at the scoreboard and I said, oh my goodness, look at the score. And then I was like, is it halftime yet? It wasn't even halfway through the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, wow, they are in trouble. Like, I figured they would be in trouble a little bit, but I didn't think it would be that bad.
Yeah.
It did not seem to me like, hey, thanks for the super chat, Mike. Appreciate it, buddy. I did not think for 1 second that Florida was going to allow 55 points. In my mind, I kind of had this at almost like a 42-35 game or a 45-35 game is kind of what I had in mind. I figured they would lose a little bit of firepower on offense on the Florida side, and I figured that they would do a little better job of stopping them. But I'll be honest with you, I really feel like about halfway through that fourth quarter, when Oklahoma just went to running the ball, I was like, they're just running out the clock. They know it's over. They know it's over. I feel like they probably could have scored 60-plus points or more. What's going on, Dwayne RTR?
Yeah, they had no answer for Oklahoma's run game. They were just – what they run – I didn't look at the final stats, but, I think they had to have rushed for almost 400 yards that game.
I think there was one running back who ran for, I want to say, 400 and something yards. I mean something ridiculous. OU versus UF bowl game stats.
But it's like I was saying earlier, though. I mean, you have to wonder. Like, I know Kyle Trask threw 3 interceptions in that game, and I blasted him on Twitter. I said those 3 picks were all on him. But when you really think about it, it's like, he's played against good competition this year, and he's just not looked that bad. So, and then in this game, what's the deciding factor? He's got his 4 top wide receivers. So, there's the potential that these guys didn't run correct routes. They didn't run routes he expected them to do. Because I mean, at least the first 2 picks that he threw right to a defender.
Yep.
And so, I want to give Kyle Trask, first of all, I'm a Florida hater, don't get me wrong. So it hurts me to give Kyle Trask the benefit of the doubt. But at the same time, this is a guy that's been lights out all year. And then, you go into this game and then all of a sudden he throws more to the defender than he does to his own receivers. And so, I don't know. It's tough. It makes you wonder. I mean, they didn't have time to practice with these guys. When you miss your 4 top receivers, that's tough. That's tough to adjust.
And I contribute a lot of that to the coaching staff, to the mentality of what's going on in the locker room. Can you get your guys to buy in for the bowl games? And it seems like it's very difficult for a lot of teams to do that. But whenever you hear some of these other players get up there and talk, and they're like, "I'm playing in this bowl game because I'm here for my brothers," and I can respect that. Let me jump over here.
It exposes the depth in my opinion.
It really does.
I mean, I saw somebody on Twitter say that there's a lot of SEC bashing during this game. There were a lot of people were saying that the SEC backups on the SEC could compete with anybody. It's like, well, I guess not for Florida.
Well, Florida hasn't had the best of recruiting classes over the past several years, and these recruits were actually the receivers here that we're talking about were actually recruited by McElwain.
Yeah.
So what has Dan Mullen been doing in the receiving section, dude? Because it doesn't look like much. If we look at the stats for the game, Oklahoma, when you think of Oklahoma, you typically think
vertical passing,
vertical passing, downfield, air raid offense, no to not much run game, right? They had 435 yards rushing, and 249 yards passing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Oklahoma was. They realized early that Florida wasn't stopping the run, and so they just destroyed them.
So here we go. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are at least 5 rushing plays of 18 yards or more, and 4 rushing plays of 25 yards or more. When you're giving up 100 yards on big plays like that, there's, what are you doing? Now I'm also going to tell you, I'm not a Florida fan. Everybody knows I'm not a Florida fan. Obviously, look at the wall behind me. But I am the biggest supporter of Todd Grantham. We need to keep this guy forever at Florida. We should never – I don't want to hear anybody say anything about Todd Grantham. I think he's doing a great job for UGA. This guy is for Coach of the Year at UGA. So for me, hey, I'm all about Todd Grantham. Here's to you, sir.
Yeah, we can't give it a Muschamp anymore.
So, all right, I guess the next thing to jump into is, again, Oklahoma, you can't take anything away from them. I feel like even if Florida would have had their best team out there, I still feel like they probably would have lost that game.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I feel like Oklahoma would have scored 60 points easy against them, 60, maybe even 70 points. They really dialed it back in that fourth quarter. I was very surprised they didn't go down and score again at that last drive, just because they could, because they were going down the field no problem. Oklahoma has got some elite speed in their running back core. I didn't know they had that kind of speed. I was pretty impressed. But yeah, they Oklahoma, if they continue to play like that, a well-rounded ball club, I mean, even more run heavy than you would have thought. They're going to be contenders, and probably a team to look out for next year. I would easily put them in the top 4 next year. Easily.
Yeah, they should. I mean, based off what I saw, they should be in the top 4 this year.
Oh yeah,
I mean they peaked. They were peaking at the right time, and I mean, Vegas saw that. That's why you saw the line flip like it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, a team that's peaking at a time, and then you got another team that's just shedding players. So.
I mean, if there was no opt-outs, that's what I would have loved to see Georgia play in a bowl game. To me, that's the ideal game if you're not in the 4.
Yeah.
Well, I would have loved to have seen Oklahoma play Alabama, because both of those teams right now are peaking, and I think that would have been a better game than what you're going to see out of Alabama Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
When it comes to Notre Dame, so let's say Clemson takes care of business today, but let's say Notre Dame pulls out some miracle. I'm not saying it's happening. Would that be the lowest watched national championship in history?
Third game
3 times? Yeah.
Probably. Probably would be.
Maybe. I don't know. I think that I think it would be a game that's probably going to not, it's probably going to be in the top 5 or 6, but I just think college football is taking on a lot different meaning this year. I think a lot of people are going to watch it, but with this being probably the best offense that I've seen in Alabama in maybe 10 years, and there's a lot of stuff surrounding Trevor Lawrence right now as probably being the greatest quarterback they've ever had at Clemson. I think it would be worth watching, but I think if you had a Ohio State versus a Notre Dame, and Ohio State had played a full season, I think there'd be a lot of people watching that. But
yeah, I think a lot of people are interested in this Clemson Ohio State game. I am.
Yeah, I am too.
I want to see what Ohio State can do against step up an opponent. I mean, the two best opponents they played this year, they've struggled a little bit, and so I'm kind of on record as well as saying that Fields needs a good game today. If Fields doesn't have an above average game today, I know it's not going to happen, but if I'm a scout in the NFL, I'm not really liking what I see. The last 4, if he goes out and lays an egg today, that will be 4 top opponents where he's had a subpar game in a row.
So a lot of you guys know that I've made videos in the past, and people still, I swear, I don't know why, but people still go back to that video I made about Justin Fields leaving UGA, and I was like, I'm fine with him leaving UGA. We can't do anything with him. He needs to go somewhere where they can develop him. But I don't think he's ready to play on the big stage yet. And every time you have put that guy on a big stage, he has not been the Justin Fields that's throwing for 500 yards in a game. He's been the Justin Fields that struggled. And that's what I was referring to. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, all the mock drafts, I say some of the mock drafts have him going to the Falcons 4th overall. So, I don't really know how I feel about that anyway. So I kind of hope he doesn't come out. But
I don't know, man. I've been hearing rumors that Falcons are sniffing around Detroit trying to give away Julio for Stafford. So that's my hope.
Yeah, hey, I'm okay with that. I mean, the Falcons let's spin off to the Falcons, but they need a reset. But I think Justin Fields, out of just about any of the top players that are expected to come out this cycle, I think Justin Fields needed a full year, and he didn't get that. And so the small sample size that we've had this year, he's just not looked great, and when the competition has been there. And if you go back to last year, he had a great season. He had some good games against some ranked opponents last year, but when they played against LSU, which was a significant step up from what they played in the regular season, he just didn't look that great. He didn't look that great at all. He didn't look that great against Indiana, against Northwestern, and I'm really not expecting him to look that great tonight or today.
Well, this in my opinion, will be the best set of DBs he's seen since the last time they played Clemson. And I think that there's not going to be many easy passes to be made. So we'll see what happens. I do want to change the subject here real quick, and we'll come back to it. But Michael Porter says, I believe that a wide receiver should win the Heisman.
I agree. Pickens needs to win.
I think that I don't think if Devontae Smith doesn't win this time, then no wide receiver ever will. I don't know what else you could do as a wide receiver, especially on. I mean, look at his numbers on any. If you put him on any team and he had those numbers, I think that's a Heisman winner. If you take that, but now that you're taking that guy and you're sticking him on a team with NFL talent all over the field. You got a world star quarterback that can throw to anybody. You got a world star running back who can run over anybody, and he's still producing these kind of numbers. My goodness, what does it take? If the Slim Reaper does not get the Heisman, then it's rigged. They just pick out who they want. They don't pick out who deserves it. While I'm all for trying to give credit to guys that need to give the credit, I am really tired of just going to quarterbacks that in a regular year win the Heisman, go out and lose a game. I'm just tired of that. Oh, let's see here. All right, so let's get rid of that real quick. Oh, what's up, Celine Driver? Celine Driver says, hello, all about to leave for lunch with my girls, but wanted to drop in and wish all you folks a happy new year and a hashtag keep Grantham. I agree, sir. Hashtag keep Grantham. Happy New Year, Celine. We appreciate you. Appreciate you being in here. Uh-oh. There we go. All right, so I pulled up the line here. Let me get it over here. There we go. All right. So let's obviously the noon game coming up here in less than an hour. We're going to be having the UGA game. We'll talk about here in just a minute. At 105, we have a Northwestern versus an Auburn team. So what's your thoughts on that? It's a 4.5-point favorite for Northwestern. The over-under is 43.5. What's your thoughts, sir?
Based off of what I've seen so far between these two teams, I might have to take Northwestern at the points. I think they cover.
Yeah. I think Northwestern is going to come out here with kind of the same thing we saw with Oklahoma, chip on their shoulder, ready to play, want to prove something. And I feel like they should be able to do it.
Yeah, Northwestern's definitely winning.
Yeah.
For those of you who have frequented the channel, Celine Driver does he also has his own channel where he does college football and he does a lot of watch stuff. So if you're big into watches, this guy has some expert critiquing that he does. He responds to all of his members. So go check him out. Go watch his show. He can tell you tons and tons about watches. I put him on in the background, and the man has honestly made me a watch expert against my will. He's just fun to listen to. Okay, let's see here. C-Dog West has thrown this in there a few times. I've tried to avoid it. I guess I can't. So, all right, let's talk about UFC. Mississippi State, Tulsa UFC fight. Thoughts, gentlemen?
Honestly, I didn't see it. I've heard a ton about it, but didn't watch the game.
I didn't watch the game, but I saw it blow up on Twitter like right when it happened. So I hopped over to YouTube, watched some clips. I haven't really watched the whole thing from start to finish. Seen the highlights, seen the dude get kicked in the face with the cleat, and then the other guy throw the girl on the ground. Don't really know what led to it. I guess it looked like they were doing the coach's handshake in the middle of the field, and all hell just broke loose. But I love Leach's comment at the end. Did you see the press conference where he was asked, like, what was your message to the team? His response is, don't do it again.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Don't do that again. Fantastic.
I do want to point out the name of the bowl.
Yeah.
The Armed Forces Bowl.
The Armed Forces Bowl. We got the Cheez-It Bowl. We got the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Man.
I also meant to mention earlier that the Oklahoma Florida game was the Goodyear Bowl, and their logo is the flying shoe. Just want to point that out. Yeah. So whenever I saw the guy get kicked with the cleat, it reminded me of that, and I can't remember the name of the guy for the save my life, but the running back who basically drop kicks the guy in the NFL with the cleat to the face. That's what it reminded me of.
I mean,
this is football, and we're not going to be tearing cloth over this. Somebody went to a football game and somebody got hit. You know, there's a point where I'm not going to lose my mind over it.
I was just sitting there thinking when the dude got kicked in the face, I'm like, you know, it's almost like when they get into the fight with a catcher in baseball. It's like you kick the guy in the head with a cleat. I mean, what's the worst that happened? He got dirt in his mouth. I mean, he got dirt in his eye. That's all he did.
You know, and I'll tell you what, as a coach,
such a bush league move to not have any effect on anybody.
It was like he was right up there. I mean, he was as close to saying "stop being a punk B" as I've ever heard a coach say that. What, you got some dirt in your eye? Stop being and get back in there. I was just, but here's the good thing: if you wanted players to buy in that you believe in them, hey, you just got it. Now, unfortunately, you're going to end up with players like Ndamukong Suh on your team, but hey, do what you got to do.
Has there been any punishments come down from this yet? I mean, I know it's less than 24 hours away, but I'm sure it's coming, right?
Yeah, the players have to play for Mississippi State and Tulsa.
Hey, be nice over there, Crimson Brave. Bruce is one of my favorite people, man. Don't be too rough on him now. All right, so we were talking a little bit about the Northwestern Auburn game. Northwestern's a 4.5-point favorite. What do you think?
I think they cover and win.
You don't think they cover, or you think they do?
I said they cover and win for sure.
I think they win by 10,
at least.
I think that Gus Malzahn's gone. Who's going to coach the team? The team can't hardly run itself with a coach there. But you know, then again, it may be addition by subtraction. You know, they may have taken out the bad component. I don't believe these players.
I'm looking at the other side. I think if Northwestern has the mentality they had going into the Ohio State game and plays that style, I don't see how Auburn's got a chance. Not the way that Auburn's been playing.
I honestly think that a lot of this game is going to come down to. I guess Christy's in the channel. Hey, Christy. I think it's going to come down to who wants to play, and I don't think Auburn's going to want to play. I don't really think they have anybody there to push them. I don't think they have the kind of leadership on the team that's going to be able to push them. So I'm going to take Northwestern by 10. All right, then we come up to the 4:00 game, the Notre Dame versus Alabama. Probably one of the biggest lines in history in a college Rose Bowl, in a college football playoff game. Maybe even one of the biggest ever in Rose Bowl. I haven't done that much research, but it is 19.5 points.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with that line. I think Alabama wins this game, but man, I don't know that Alabama's defense is enough to not give up. I mean, not to hold that game within 20 points or outside of 20 points.
All right, who's winning, Alabama or Notre Dame?
Oh, he said Notre Dame.
That's a bad pick.
He's been listening to you talk about how good Notre Dame is all season. Yeah. You got to get him his own channel so he can subscribe to me so I can get him turning around, man. You're struggling over there.
Hey, man, he picked Georgia to be Cincinnati this morning, so I'm happy.
Oh, you did? Oh, he did?
Oh, yeah. Every day I ask him his picks. And unfortunately, the 2 times he hasn't picked Georgia was Bama and Florida.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think it's because he lives in Florida. He knew that. But the Alabama one, I have no idea. He's never heard that to pick.
He's raising a Bama fan.
I think Bama wins, man, but I'm with Keith, man. I don't know if they cover the 19.5.
Yeah,
that Florida game was pretty telling against Alabama. I'm not saying Alabama's bad. They're still, to me, the greatest team in college.
Yeah.
They could be scored on.
Yeah, they're going to be playing against a quality quarterback with quality. I mean, with quality players. I mean, Alabama. I mean, they've kept it. I mean, the teams that have been tough. I mean, have scored points on Alabama. And so I think I think Notre Dame will score points. I think Alabama will outscore them for sure. I mean, but I don't like a 20-point line. I don't think they win by 20.
Okay. So here's where I got to be the outlier. What would you say if I told you Notre Dame was going to win this game?
I'd tell you you're crazy.
You'd be right, because I'd never say that. So here's my thought process. I think that there's only been 2 offenses all year that's had any kind of success against Alabama. I think one of them was Ole Miss. I think that game kind of caught them unaware. Jones still threw for 400 yards in that game. They struggled a little bit with Florida. Jones still threw for 400 yards in that game. What I think is going to happen is I think that Nick Saban, being the coach that he is, the most recent game that Notre Dame played where they got absolutely destroyed was Clemson. I think that they're going to take most of that game plan. They're going to modify it a little bit because it was clear Notre Dame had no answer even after the half for what Clemson was doing. They had no answer. They couldn't stop it. They knew exactly. Here's how you know you're absolutely beat. When you know exactly what's fixing to happen and you still can't do anything about it. And that happened play after play after play with Clemson. The talent gap was shown. And I feel like the amount of time that they were on the field, they had no problem. I think Alabama covers this. I think Alabama covers it at the 21-point mark. I would buy in at 21. I might buy in at 24 if I've had a few to drink. But after that, I'm not. See you later, Bruce. Thanks for joining the show, sir. Really appreciate you being here. I do feel like Alabama is going to score their points. I feel like Alabama is going to go up and down the field however they want to. I'll almost bet you money Najee Harris is going to have a field day because they've either got to sell out to stop Najee or they got to sell out to stop Devontae. And if you're not stopping one of those guys, the other one's killing you. Travis Etienne is a great running back. What's that?
I'm about to have to get off here real quick. Mama's in there cooking collard greens and everything else.
Oh yeah. I got my black eyed peas going already, sir. So,
yep.
I'll call you. We'll be in touch after middle of the game and whatnot. So you can go ahead and drop, man.
Y'all take
it later, brother. Thanks for joining.
See you,
Trish. I think that Notre Dame really doesn't expect to win this game. I don't know how checked out they are. They may feel like they got a shot in this game, but I just don't feel like they have the talent to keep up with what Alabama has. I feel like they're going to wear them down. Travis Etienne is a good running back, but I don't think he's the caliber of Najee Harris. I think what you're going to see is just another beatdown. Once you get about halfway through the second quarter, they're going to realize that they're outgunned. They're going to drop into that same mindset of the last game they just lost, and then they're going to get rolled. I mean, think about this. Imagine having to play potentially 3 games in a row where you play Clemson and then Alabama, and then you got to play Clemson again. I mean, the odds of running that gauntlet, unbelievably difficult to even win one of those games. So I'm taking Alabama to cover.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Let's jump down to the 8 o'clock, the late game, the primetime game, the Ohio State Clemson game. Clemson's favored by only 7.5. Which thoughts?
Who knows? I mean, that's the thing, I mean, I don't know. That's been my whole thing. You don't know what kind of team Ohio State is. I mean, if I'm basing on what I've seen this year so far, I think Clemson wins this game. I think they've run away with this game. I mean, like I said, Ohio State has not looked that great against tough opponents this year, and this is going to be by far the toughest opponent they've played this year, and a huge step up from Northwestern and from Indiana. And so, if I'm just basing that on what I've seen so far, I think Clemson covers this. I think Clemson covers it easily, and I think. I don't know. I don't know. I hope it's a great game, but based off what I've seen, I don't expect that great of a game.
So here's how I measure the quality of.
I think Clemson and Alabama are by far the best two teams in college football this year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you look at Ohio State, and their Northwestern game, you have to go, that didn't look good, right? And then you have to turn around and look at the fact that Northwestern is only a 4.5-point favorite over Auburn.
Yeah.
And you have to realize that Auburn is a fairly terrible football team this year. And they're only a 4.5-point favorite with Auburn missing a head coach. So when I see that, I have to go, wow, I can't believe the line's only 7.5.
Yeah. I mean, 7.5 is a pretty good line in a game like this. I mean, you're talking a full touchdown over two teams that should be on paper, or I guess not even on paper. I can't say on paper. In the minds of people that believe in this, in the eye test, which we haven't even gotten this year from Ohio State either. So
right.
I don't really know why they're there, but that's another story altogether. I'll put it this way. If their name wasn't Ohio State and they were just some other Power 5 team that was in the same situation they are, there's no way they'd be in the playoff. But that's another thing.
I agree.
But anyways, so I just I think it's a pretty good line considering we don't really know much about Ohio State, but I think Clemson covers.
Okay. I think that Clemson is going to – I think Clemson is going to I think Clemson is not just playing this game to play this game. I think they're playing this game to play the next game. So I think that you're going to see them try to get out in front quickly to try and put this game away so they can try and save some of their guys for the Alabama game. So I feel like they'll probably run a 14-point lead. If I had to guess the score, I would probably say somewhere around 45-28 would be a guess.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I hope it's a good game. I don't think the Alabama at Notre Dame game is going to be that great, and so I kind of want, I want a game that's going to keep me engaged. So I want a close game.
Honestly,
I think Ohio State's good. I think they're better than what they've showed this year, and so I hope it's a good game. But
oh yeah, so for me, I think that these are the two warm-up games for Alabama and Clemson to play. And here's the kicker. If one of these teams, if Notre Dame or Ohio State manages to upset the other, because I don't see both happening, whichever team ends up playing the other one, whether Notre Dame plays Clemson or Ohio State plays Alabama, they're gonna get drug as well. I mean, it would be hard to believe it's not going to go that way. Now, there's only one other game today that I want to talk about, but before I do, let me back up a little bit. I absolutely would love to see Oklahoma play again this year. The way they played was exciting to watch. I'd love to see those guys play again, but since I can't, I got to go for Huey Dewey, number 2E, Texas A&M. Texas A&M playing North Carolina tonight at 8:05. You might flip back and forth between after Clemson gets done wailing on Ohio State in the first half, you could probably switch over and watch a pretty good football game in the North Carolina Texas A&M game. Texas A&M has the same point spread as Clemson, Ohio, which is 7.5. But I think North Carolina is on a bit of a streak here. I like the way they play. They play with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of physicality, and I think everybody wants to beat up on the SEC this year. Hey, what's going on, JC?
Yeah, I think that game's tomorrow night, right?
I think that game's today. No, it is tomorrow. You're right. My mistake. Wow, I need to tighten up. But yeah, that game's tomorrow. Also, the Oregon and Iowa State game is tomorrow. Oregon out there talking a lot of smack about Iowa State. I think Iowa State's going to handle them.
Yeah. I think the Texas A&M North Carolina matchup was a pretty intriguing game there. Texas A&M has been media darling since they've had a good run after they lost to Alabama. And North Carolina, the same thing. They've went out and proven some things other than that embarrassing loss to Florida State. So this is an interesting matchup for both of these teams. This is kind of the exact opposite of what we have in the Georgia-Cincinnati game, right? The Georgia-Cincinnati game is almost one of those lose-lose for Georgia. You beat up on Cincinnati, you're supposed to do it. If you lose, it's like, what the hell are you doing? This game is one of those. It's like both of these teams have something to prove in this game.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a really good football game.
Yeah.
Let me run through the chat. Here real quick. Travis Goff, how you doing, sir? Yes, sir. We are from that neck of the woods. Elite GB, how you doing? Christy, one of our favorites here. JC, how you doing? Dwayne RTR says he's got to go. Thanks for joining the channel, sir. We much appreciate it. Kickoff here in about 30 minutes. So I just wanted to get on, kind of go through and get everybody's opinion. Let's talk about the Georgia-Cincinnati game real quick, and then we'll close out. Georgia, 9.5-point favorite. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I mean, it's real quick. I think, I think Cincinnati's going to come out here, looking to prove themselves. I hope they do. 9.5. I think Georgia covers. I don't think they cover by much. I see Georgia winning by maybe 14 or so. I think it's going to be a fun game.
I do too. So I think that this game right here is one that Kirby Smart has spent a lot of time trying to amp up the Georgia players, because we are missing quite a few players. Not blaming that on anybody. It is absolutely next man up. Go play football. I'm not excited about the number of people that have checked out. That always disappoints me. To me, every game is just as important as the next game, whether it's the first game of the year or the last game of the year. And to me, you're leaving those other guys out there hanging. They put in just as much sweat, blood, and tears as you did, and now all of a sudden you're going to leave them in the trenches by themselves. So that's just my opinion. Now, we still got a lot of weapons on offense. We still got a lot to play for. We have an excellent offensive coordinator. We have a quarterback at the helm that can absolutely rock you the moment you leave a guy open downfield. We've got some elite receivers. It's going to be a good game. My big question is how well is the defense going to be able to handle a true dual threat quarterback that Cincinnati has? This guy has a ton of talent. I mean, he is an absolutely hurt you, Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, mobile quarterback. And if you don't pay attention, you leave a big gaping hole in the middle, he's going to run right up the field on you. Yeah. If Georgia can't handle that, that's going to be a problem. I feel like Georgia's defense is good enough that if we get a couple of turnovers, then we'll have no problem winning this game. If Georgia coughs up the ball 2 or 3 times, we're going to lose. To me, the first person in this game to get to that 40 mark is the winner. Georgia has to score over 40 points in this game. Cincinnati has a powerful offense. I feel like they've been underrated a little bit. I said all along I thought these guys deserve a shot at the college football playoffs. I feel like they have that same mentality too, and now they're out to prove it, and it's up to Georgia to stop them. So if you want to maintain that big SEC, that Power 5 school status that, those guys can't compete with us, this is when you have to do it. Florida got blown out. We like to talk smack against the Big 12 and whatnot, and they got blown out by them. Well, now you have a situation where Georgia may lose to Cincinnati, and if you don't take it seriously, this is going to be a pretty serious black eye.
I think Kirby's going to have these guys coached up. This is one of those games that really creates momentum going into next year. In college football, momentum from one year is definitely carries over to the next year, because college football season never really stops. If you think about it, it's going to go right into the recruitment, and these players that play for Georgia are part of the recruitment now with all the social media. They're out there recruiting guys, and so the mentality of playing tough and the momentum from one year does not stop in college football. So I think Georgia, particularly in the passing game with JT Daniels, I think Georgia is going to go out and want to show off what our offense can do, because there's a lot on the line going into next year with Alabama, the team essentially being gutted from the NFL. Florida possibly losing Trask. There's the potential for Georgia, if they have a good showing today with a really powerful offensive showing. There's a potential for Georgia to go into next year highly rated with what they have coming back.
Well, there's potential right now for Georgia to go into next year rated at number 1.
Yes, I agree. If you look at what everybody else is losing, with Trevor Lawrence gone, Alabama losing half their team to the NFL, and if Georgia goes out there and JT Daniels has a good game and everybody starts talking about it, you're going to have JT Daniels coming back as definitely the best quarterback in the SEC, but potentially, on people's mind across college football. So I don't want to talk it up too big, but that's what I think is going to give Georgia, momentum today or incentive today to go out and not lay an egg to actually play.
Yep. 1 second here. One of the things that I've been looking at is I've been like you. I've been looking down the road here. Let me catch up on the chat. What's going on, Crimson and White? Christy just leaving us. So catch you later, Christy. Thank you for joining the show. Sarah Crane is here. Hi, Miss Sarah. Appreciate you being here. The bet is also here. In my opinion, Georgia has an opportunity here, like you said, to really go out and assert themselves for next year. You look at the fact that let me back up just a little bit more. Right now, we have one of the most amazing culmination of quality quarterbacks at one time we have ever seen in college football. Typically, you have 1 or 2 quarterbacks who are really elite. But in college football right now, I can name 5 easily. Kyle Trask, Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Spencer Rattler, JT Daniels. I mean, there's a ton of guys out there. What was that other guy? He's up for a Heisman. I can't remember his name. He's got one of the highest QBR ratings in all of college football.
Talking about a BYU quarterback?
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name is, but yeah, he's projected to go like really high in the draft.
Yeah.
Like 3rd quarterback overall, if you count Fields in.
I mean, just absolutely amazing amount of talent at the quarterback position in college football right now. And then couple that with the fact that almost all of them are leaving.
Yeah, you got
Trevor's gone, Fields gone, Trask gone.
There's a potential of 4 quarter. Actually, not potential. I think pretty much everybody assumes that 4 of the top 10 picks are going to be quarterbacks this cycle.
Yeah, I mean it's incredible. Now, what you will see is you will probably see Zach Wilson, probably see an uptick in quality football being played in quality quarterback play at the NFL level. But right now, it's all in the college level. And once that is gone, that's gonna open up a huge door for college football. JT Daniels is pretty much the last man standing as far as elite QBs go. We got a ton of talent coming back next year, done properly. And of course, you're going to sound like a homer saying this, but all indications show that Georgia could absolutely steamroll everybody they play next year. So
yeah, the schedule's looking good outside of the Clemson game, and that's going to set up.
Yeah, outside of the Clemson game.
I'm not quite ready to give JT Daniels the elite status yet. I think that's what this game means for Georgia, though, is to put to put our offense, I guess to show to the country that our offense now is legit, because that's been the black eye for Georgia. They got a good defense down there, but they don't play offense. They haven't played offense in 5 or 6 years down there. So this is one of the games that Georgia needs to show that yes, we have changed with the times of college football. We understand that it's a passing league now, and we've embraced that, and we're going to throw the ball and let's see what we can do.
So Sarah Crane says, after Gators embarrassed the SEC, every YouTube football channel is filled with OU fans saying SEC who. They need the SEC to show up and show. We need the SEC to show up and show out. Well, let's be honest. I don't want to take anything away from what Oklahoma did. I want to give them credit for everything they did. But you also have to say that you're talking about a team that lost about half of its offense.
They lost 8 starters across offense and defense that didn't play in that game.
Yeah, I mean, that's an incredible amount of players to lose. So, yes, I can understand you wanting to say, hey, we beat an SEC team. Great. But the last time, just to be fair, the last time that Oklahoma played an SEC team that was at full power, they lost. And that year, they had a Heisman Trophy winner for a quarterback, and they still lost. So, not to take anything away from them, but you got to call them on both sides. Fair is fair. So,
that's the unfortunate thing with the way things are now. They need to expand the playoffs immediately. Keep these players on the teams throughout the season.
Yeah. And one more thing before we go here, because we got to shut it down. People's got stuff they want to do right before the game starts, and I get that. When you're looking at quality opponents, I would tell you right now that I would much rather see Oklahoma playing Alabama. I would love to see Alabama play Clemson. I would love to see that game. I think that would be an incredible game.
Yeah.
But
I think the playoffs would be awesome if you just moved Ohio State out, put Oklahoma in.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. Oklahoma, for me to tell you, you Oklahoma fans, for me to tell you how impressed I was with you guys in that game, this is the first year I have ever advocated for Oklahoma to be in the college football playoff. Every year before that, I've said you guys have no business being there because you get blown out. This year, you guys had a well-rounded offense, played great defense, looked good, looked really good. But I don't think it's fair for you guys to beat your chest just yet about how you tearing up the SEC because let's be honest, at this particular moment, in my opinion, Florida is probably the third best team in the SEC. I think that if Georgia would have had their starting quarterback, if Florida is going to play the cards of, well, if we had our offense back, fine, then you will allow Georgia to play the card of, well, if we had our starting quarterback we have now. Nobody wants to take that bet. Georgia would beat Florida with JT Daniels at the helm. So
yeah, I think so too. I would love to play that game again for sure.
Yeah, but please also understand, I don't think Georgia could beat Alabama right now, even at full power. I think Alabama would trounce Georgia still. I think it's Alabama and then a step down to Georgia and then a half a step down to Florida. That's the way I see it. And then Texas A&M might be pretty close to on par with Florida. That's my opinion. But what do you think your score prediction is for the Georgia-Cincinnati game?
I'm going to say 35-20 Georgia.
35-20 Georgia. I'm going to go pretty close to you. I'm going to go 45-27. I'm going to say that Georgia has some fireworks. We get on the field. I feel like Cincinnati is going to do pretty well. And it wouldn't surprise me if Cincinnati at some point gets the lead. Would not surprise me if early on Cincinnati gets the lead. Georgia has to adjust. Georgia makes the adjustment, and then Georgia runs away with the game. That's kind of what I predict see happening. And I think that the 45-27 is going to be Georgia scores touchdowns and then kicks a field goal here or there. And then you're going to see Cincinnati score a couple of touchdowns and get a couple of field goals. I would probably say the game's probably close at half, and then Georgia starts to walk away with it later.
Yeah, that sounds good for me. I would take that, historically speaking, from watching Georgia. A little scary early on and then walk away. It sounds about par for the course.
Sounds average, right? Par for the course. Safe bet. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate everybody that's made it this far. Go check us out on Twitter. We comment back and forth pretty regular on there. At C Keith C and at UGA Big Dog Brett. You guys can find us there. We're all pretty well linked together. We would enjoy you guys to join in on the conversation on Twitter. Share your thoughts there, score predictions. Also leave your thoughts, comments here, and don't forget to share this channel as well. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the season. And I got to be honest with you, that was our guesstimate at the beginning of the season where we wanted to go. We're really quickly approaching 3,500, so we're getting there. But in the off season, don't disappear. Still got tons of stuff that we put out: the recruiting, returning players leaving, scouting reports, fall camp, and of course my favorite: any teams that get into trouble in the off season. That's one of my favorites. And because UGA has somehow magically managed to clean up their activity since we got Coach Smart, for the most part. So yeah. All right. Anything else you want to add there, Keith?
No, that's it, man. I'm ready to go upstairs and watch the game, bud.
Same here, guys. Really appreciate you guys joining in. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and you guys have a great day. We'll see you at halftime. God bless. Go Dogs.